Saturday night. I feel like I haven't done an awful lot, but I've moved my living room around. Because my sofa's an L shape, but you can move where the L is. Like, the bit that sticks out is like a separate base. It's not attached, so you can put it either side and flip the cushions around. And I was like, you know, I've not had it the other side, so it's by the window, in ages. So I was like, mix it up. But I didn't film it. But I'll do a reveal tomorrow when the light's back. But I've just been reading today. I've been reading One Yellow Eye. It's okay. I feel like, as I thought, it's less about zombies and more about like the main character's relationship with her husband, who is a zombie, who's being kept secret in her spare room. So it's more about them and like coming to terms with the fact that her husband's not around in like any meaningful way anymore. But it's quite irritating because she's so attached to the husband in a way that's irritating to read about. I guess I was hoping for a bit more excitement from it. But also, it's very much, like, even though it's about zombies, it's very much giving COVID book. Because it's almost like when we all came out of the pandemic and, like, had the vaccine and we're getting back to normal. It's very much that, but zombies instead of COVID. The film starts in half an hour and it takes half an hour to walk there. Wish me luck. Okay, I have to update you on some things because, well, as you will have seen, I've just been to the cinema and I went to see Wuthering Heights with my mum, so I need to talk to you about that. But also, right before I left, I finished One Yellow Eye. This was alright. I gave it a 3-star. It's like as I expected in that it's less about zombies, it's more about like human experience, especially with like grief. I did really enjoy all the like the scientific research side to this. Like it low-key, so my job at the moment is like kind of like medical research adjacent. She's just jumped up. I just do the finance side of it, but I work a lot with academics who do medical research. And I feel like I always think like it would be so fun to work in a lab, I think. And this book kind of just reiterated that. Like, I feel like it would be fun to just, I don't know, be messing about with slides, doing little experiments. I don't know. So I enjoyed that side of it. Obviously, the other like big part of this is Kessa's relationship with her husband, who's currently a zombie locked up in her bedroom. And I think my issue, so she's quite, like, she's an unsociable person. She's, like, quite standoffish, I suppose. Lol, I'm filming this in my hallway. So, like, my front door is right here and one of my neighbours just came back. And so I feel like because of that, the way she talks about her husband is annoying. Because it's almost like, oh, I hate people, but I love you. But also, I think my issue, so we never know, we never see their relationship when he's not a zombie. Like, there's a couple of flashbacks, but like, not enough for me to give a shit. Or to like see anything special in their relationship that would like explain why she's keeping him locked up in her spare room. And especially so, this may be teetering on spoiler territory. So if you don't really know anything, then just skip ahead. But so obviously they're like doing medical research into finding a cure for this zombie virus, and as part of that, like it does talk about testing on animals. So like Hester's relationship with one of the animal test subjects feels like more of an emotional connection than we see with her and her husband. So like that bit was really interesting and like hit. But I don't care about your husband, sorry. So there was good and bad, hence why it's landed as a 3. But Wuthering Heights, I actually, you know what, it's hard to talk about because I don't actually know if I loved it or hated it. Well, no, that's a lie, I didn't hate it. I guess I didn't know what I was expecting. Like, I feel like so I've not read the book. Obviously, previous vlogs will have shown that I tried, and due to factors, we had to put it on the back burner. So I've not read the original story, but I did read The Favourites, like, almost a year ago, and then found out after that that's actually based on Wuthering Heights. So I was watching this film, thinking about what I knew of maybe the plot beats from that ice skating book. Okay, so what I didn't like was, like, basically any of the settings. Like, her house just looked fake, and then the house that she ends up moving into, again, hated the vibes of that. It's not the fact that it was took on like it completely ignored like any historical accuracy. Like I think that made sense. Like there was some like glitzy, like non-period accurate like clothing and vibes, but I just didn't like how it looked. Like I just thought it was done a bit like ugly. I just didn't like the aesthetic of the house. But I did enjoy like when they were like up on the more natural landscapes. Like I enjoyed those settings, but I had not appreciated, because I can't remember how the fairies end, but I swear it didn't end the same. But I was not expecting that that's how we would be leaving the characters at the end. I was going in expecting it to wrap up differently, shall we say. So what's happened is it's kind of made me really intrigued about picking up the book, because I did enjoy the mess of it. I love a bit of a messy, toxic vibe sometimes. So now I'm like intrigued to read the book to see how much of that is true to the book and how much is Emerald's spin on it. So I think that's actually going to be the book I'm going to pick up next. We've come full circle. We are heading out. I'm going for a swim, but I've come by the library so I can take these 2 books back. The way I wasn't even planning on getting anything new. I literally was just thinking I was gonna drop and go. But I picked up So Late in the Day by Claire Keegan. I don't think I've read anything by her before, but I was intrigued because it's just so tiny. I picked up What We Can Know by Ian McEwan. I had a hold on it on Libby, but then also noticed that the audiobook was on BorrowBox because I've got 2 library accounts, and both of those holds have come in this week, I think, or yeah, I think this week, or in the past couple of days anyway. So that, well, the audiobook definitely has. So the fact that it's all aligned for this to be there, for me to have the audiobook and also now have the ebook, I was like, it felt right. But yeah, anyway, that's me. I'm off for a swim now. It's 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna go, I think I'm just gonna do a chill, like 30 lengths, in, out, shower. Then I'm gonna go home, get in bed, read, because I'm in the office tomorrow. So could do with an early night. Swim done. home from work. Been in the office today, but it's the Wednesday office, which isn't actually too bad. And it was just me there today because the woman I sit in there with was out doing other things. But I've just pulled into the shopping bit, and mainly because I need to get petrol, and petrol's cheap here, and also because the new BK Borison, I think it's meant to come out tomorrow, and like the works do a special edition. I was like, well, since I'm going in anyway, let me just see, just on the off chance it's out early, because then that'll mean I won't have to go in to the shopping bit again tomorrow. And it was there, but I thought maybe I'd give you an update on the books I'm reading. So I'm reading Wuthering Heights, and I feel like now I've gone into an understanding that it's characters telling the story of them in the past. I'm like a bit more, okay, I understand what's going on now. And it's okay, enjoying, it's fine, but not loving. I feel like there's a lot of words I'm having to Google, which I feel like just is the case with when you're reading a book that was written so long ago that language has changed. There's words I don't understand. I think it's the quote that's on the back of my hardback edition anyway. It's the thing about whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. Stunning. What a stunning quote. So I think I'm a quarter of the way through now. But then I also started Escape and Control yesterday, which I don't know why. So I had the impression that was a workplace sort of event, but actually I think what it's turning out to be is kind of a meta murder mystery thriller. But the setup is so strange. The idea is this author wrote a manuscript of a story on a typewriter, and then his flat was burgled and it was taken, and then somebody contacts him years later because he put his email address on the manuscript, saying, oh, I think I don't know how I've come to get this, but I was cleaning out the attic and this is here, and so the author's like, oh, can you send it over and I'll have a look. And he's like, this is weird because I did write some of it, but somebody's added stuff. So there's the typewritten pages, but then there's also pages which must have been done on a computer and printed off, because it talks about them being in different fonts. And it's implying that it's quite creepy, because he's they never found out who burgled his flat. This was the only thing that was taken. But then he was saying, upon reading this person's additions to his story, it makes references and in jokes that make him think it's somebody that he knows. At the start is his story about how his flat was burgled, and then it's the emails back and forth with this guy who's found his manuscript, and then you're going through the story as is. So you get the chapters in the typewriter font, which is obviously what this person originally wrote, and then there's chapters in normal I don't know, different font that are the additions. And basically it's that, but then at the bottom everything is footnoted with these two authors going back and forth discussing it. So there's loads of footnotes at the bottom. So the text itself seems to be setting up some sort of murder mystery. This guy wakes up in an apartment and gets weird instructions, which is going to help him solve the murder of his girlfriend, I think. And so I'm also in two minds, because I'm should I is there an argument for just reading through and ignoring the footnotes so you can actually read the story? Because when I tell you, some of these footnotes are half the page, they just keep interrupting the flow of the manuscript. So I'm is that, I don't know where, because it's so early, I don't know where the story is going to be. I don't know. So I feel I need to give it a bit more time. Depending on how it lands and how it's executed, I feel it could be quite interesting. So I will keep you updated, but that's what I'm reading at the moment. So I'm going to go home now. I don't have any plans tonight, I don't think I'll go for another swim, because I went yesterday, and I'm going to Aqua tomorrow. So I think I'm just going to chill, maybe read, maybe catch up on some YouTube vids. But yeah, I'm just gonna just hope that's in frame. Hey, I've just gone back from work and we have another broken binding package. Mia's gonna be excited. It's new scrunchy paper day. Mimi! So this is the second in the Drowned Empire trilogy. In Jan, it was the Bone Shard Daughter. And this time we have the Bone Shard Emperor. Here, ooh! We have a little cat. So I thought I would just do, I think I did speak about this not even that long ago, but I thought I'd give maybe an update on my books. So let's start with this one. Wuthering Heights. I was just listening to some on the drive home. So where are we up to now? I'm up to page 139, which is what? I feel like it's just over a third, but not quite half. I am finding it fine. I think it's helped having seen the film first. Although saying that, what I'm not on board with is, so obviously I now know this is like being told from Nellie, who was the housekeeper, maid, I don't know what her job title is. She's retelling this story to somebody, I want to say 20 years after the events, maybe. Yeah, easily. Must at least be like 25 years after the event. So she's relaying the story to the guy who now lives at Thrushcross Grange. It was where the Lintons lived. I don't know if any of this is spoilers, but I might just... If you don't want to hear anything about Wuthering Heights, then just skip forward. But yeah, that other house is where the person Kathy ends up marrying lived. Mr. Linton. So this Nellie maid woman is telling the story of the guy who now lives in Thrushcross Grange, because presumably Lipton's out of the picture. We don't know exactly why. So she's like recounting the story to him. So everything is from Nellie's point of view in terms of the story of Heathcliff and Kathy. I feel like this is obviously a love story, gothic romance, whatever, between Kathy and Heathcliff. But because we're only seeing the story from the maid's eyes, we're only seeing Kathy and Heathcliff's relationship in moments when Nellie was also there. How can they be so in love? Like, because I feel like all we see is them fucking arguing, quarrelling. Like, you had the big declaration to Nellie before she decided to marry Linton and before Heathcliff disappeared for a couple of years, where she said that famous line of, whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same, which, love that as a quote, but up until that point, you just don't see it between them. Like, we're not in any of their POV, so you don't get, like, their internal thoughts about each other. You just get what's obviously been said in Nellie's presence. So I'm just struggling to believe their relationship. I feel like we've not had any evidence of them actually liking each other, really. Because you assume that all happens when they're together just themselves, which we obviously wouldn't hear about because Nellie can only tell us what she's seen. But it did, like, at the very start, when this new guy went to Wuthering Heights, before Nellie started telling him the story, there was a mention of diaries, Kathy's diaries. And I feel like that would be a better way to learn about the story, because then it's Kathy's experiences and thoughts and feelings that she's written down, which we could learn about her and Heathcliff's relationship, that would maybe make you see why they're so obsessed with each other. But also, okay, so this is the other thing. I'm not even halfway, and Kathy's married. Heathcliff's already, like, gone, come back, they're reconciled, and like Linton's now just banished him from ever coming to their house again, and is making Kathy choose like it's him or me. And I'm like, what else is left to film more than half of a book? So I just wonder whether there's stuff in this, whether the book goes into stuff that the film didn't even touch. But yeah, so mid thoughts about this so far. So my other book that I'm reading is Escape and Control, and like I think the footnotes are really putting me off this. Wait, let me try and show you. Actually, look how much of the page is footnotes. I'm sure there was even worse as well. Lol, this one. Look at this page. This page is more footnotes than anything else. So again, I will keep going because it does read quite quickly, and I'm intrigued to see where it ends up, but I'm just interested to know how the story ends up relating to the guys, like the authors footnoting it, because I think it will, because even like a few weird things have, like, okay, here's a footnote here. So it says here, after leaving the Mandelbrot, I find a hotel on East 28th Street called the Explorer. And then we go to footnotes, and the guy who found the manuscript said, this establishment is real and still operates at this address. The original author replies, really? I can't find it on Google. And then the other guy says, God, you're right, I just checked again. I swear I found it when I checked it a couple of nights ago. So it's like, even like something fishy is going on with the story, with whoever's added the chapters, but then something fishy is going on with the guys like annotating it, footnoting it, going back and forth, discussing it. So I think they're sort of reviewing the story with an intent to maybe publish the book. So I'm interested to see like how it all wraps up. But yeah, that's all I've got to say at the moment. I'm going to Aqua tonight with my mum, which I'm looking forward to. And then I'm working from home tomorrow. And then it's my last day before I've got next week off, which I'm buzzing about. I don't really have plans tomorrow, and I imagine that I'm probably going to end up working late just to try and get a few things done before I sign off for a week. So I don't think I'll probably end up filming anything else because I probably won't have anything to show you. So if that's true, then I'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll have some fun week off content. The plan is to paint this room. Bye.